want you to know that I'm in quarantine with my roommate, and it's killing us both. You have to wash your hands clean, cause thanks to COVID-19, we cannot go to a theater. No matter how you desire to see Mrs. Doubtfire, have to settle for Broadway HD. I'm here to remind you of the shows that we didn't get to see. It's not fair to deny them of the chance to win a donation. You must think that we're phonies to say there are no Tonys. Well, bruh, please, there's no way. If you think for a moment I'm going out my phone, well, just hold it. There's just all gotta stay inside. Heat Fauci's guide. We'll see a show by the 4th of July. Whoa, what's gloves got to do with it? What's gloves but a second-hand protection? Michael, wear your gloves. Whoa, what's gloves got to do with it? Wear a mask and gloves. What's gloves? You ought to know.
It's Sondheim's 400th birthday, Michael.
Muted. Hi, everyone, and thank you for watching our opening number. Michael, I can hear it from your room. All right. So this is the Tony NomiNathans. Welcome to the first. We hope it's not annual, to be honest. We'd like to have the real ones. So first off, I'm like a big geek for the Tonys, and I'm sad that they're not happening. My birthday is usually the Tonys, so I just decided spread some joy. I don't know who's gonna win anything ever, but I did see Slava Snow Show, and if I learned anything, it's I didn't, but Slava would want us to do this, I think. So first things first, Seth Rudetsky and his husband are doing, what is it called? Oh my goodness. It's called Stars in the House, and it's wonderful, and they're doing it twice a day, and it's for the Actors Fund. And we're kind of stealing their format today, but it's because we love them. Also, speaking of Actors Fund, it's scrolling right there. Go donate to the Actors Fund if you can, because they are keeping everything afloat and helping all sorts of performers and everyone on stage, backstage, stay alive during all of this. So, and with that, we will begin talking about what we're going to talk about today, which is this Broadway season. So again, nobody saw all the shows, so we're just going to conjecture and guess, and we will not be critiquing, we will only be geeking, and I will be getting that as a tattoo. Thank you. To begin, we're going to talk about straight plays, because I only saw 2 of them, which is something that I have to fix in 2021. I wanted to see the upcoming revival of Take Me Out, which if you don't know it, it's the gay baseball play, and now you know it. And Jesse Tyler Ferguson is going to be in it, and it corona'd. So what I did see was Slaves Play by Jeremy O. Harris. That's a play, y'all. So basically, Jeremy O. Harris, he's a debut playwright on Broadway, young, Black, queer, amazing. We love to see it. And the play follows, I have to look at my notes. I don't really want to say this one wrong. But it follows couples, interracial couples dealing with racism in America, and if that even can be dealt with. And the old white gentleman next to me was very uncomfortable, and it was a joy. Just absolute crazy play. I don't want to even give much of it away. You should go try to read it because there's a big twist and it's amazing. It's a very ensemble show, 8 cast members. However, Joaquina, but she played Kenesha, and she has like a 20-page monologue at the end, And if she didn't win the Tony that didn't happen, I would have thrown up and vomited. So it's probably good that we don't have Tonys. All right. Now, the second play that I saw was The Inheritance, and it was a very light romp, a comedy in 2 acts, more like 4 acts. It was 9 hours long. It is an import from London, and it is a 2-part epic about gays in current America, and if there will ever be such a thing as post-AIDS America. It won the Olivier in London. It won Best Actor. I would assume he would repeat, our good friend Kyle Soller. However, I have to say, I did not see Kyle Soller. I saw his understudy. And it should be illegal to make people understudy 9-hour plays, because you should have enough time when you get up to run the whole show. It's very stressed for this man. Lois Smith in this play has 1 scene, and she probably would have gotten nominated for it. She got a Drama Desk nomination. There is a man, his name is Samuel H. Levine, and he plays both Adam and Leo. And at one point, Adam and Leo talk to each other. And that should get a Tony and also a protein bar. So yes, that show is all about gays in America. However, it is nowhere near the gayest thing I saw this year. The gayest thing I saw was, in fact, Kristen Chenoweth's For the Girls, in which she chanted her name and the gay men chanted it back at her, and then she stood on a piano and belted Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I cried. All right, I think that's just about enough of that. Now we are going to welcome our first guest of the evening. She is a good friend. One time she threw a bowl of water in my face for art. You know her, you love her.
Then you came along, and right or wrong, feelings began to overflow. Hi!
Zeinstra.
Hello, Nathan. It's so wonderful to see your face.
Friend, look at you. And we're on schedule. That's crazy. I didn't play more of that because I knew you'd hate it. But
Thank you.
so you made your Broadway debut last year, yeah?
Yes, it was incredible. I made my Broadway debut with a certain little, also very gay show called The Prom.
Yay!
Lesbians and proms and inclusivity. It was hilarious and amazing, and I miss it, but my body does not. It was the hardest dancing I've ever done in my life. Casey does not mess around with his cardio.
So Brittany was in the ensemble, and she also covered the lead role, understudied Emma. And so the show was nominated for a Tony Award.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through what that means for you?
Yeah, so the month leading up to Tony, so you get the Tony nominations, not the Tony NomiNathans, and then the next month you're basically you're in like a bid for the Tonys. So you're doing all sorts of extra press, and for us it was especially true. We were on, thankfully, we were so lucky to be on a bunch of TV shows. So we were on like Late Night with Seth Meyers, and we were on Stephen Colbert, and a number of different shows to kind of put the word out that, hey, our little show that could exists, and you should come see it, and you can vote for us for Tonys. But yeah, so we were nominated for 7 different Tony Awards.
We'll do that some other day.
Who would you say?
Should have been 8. Casey Nicolau was robbed, but we don't have time.
Only joy, only geeking right now. But the day of, I think
for this year, I can be as critiquing of last year as I want. And so, what was the actual day like? Well, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You went on as Emma the night before the Tonys, yeah?
Yeah, it was one of the more crazy performances I've ever been a part of. Beth Level got a standing ovation after her song "The Lady's Improving." That lasted, I think, an actual full 1.5 minutes. I think we timed it. It was a very long show, but people were so excited, and the electricity in the room was so palpable. But that night I was on as the lead, and I don't remember feeling my fingers or my toes most of the times I went on for that role, but that night was particularly special, and people were really welcoming to the feeling of the show. And to me, stepping into Caitlin Kinnanen's role, not that a role belongs to anyone, but she had been with it since the beginning, and she was nominated for that role for Emma, and she has a voice for the gods. I mean, come on, you guys. She squats and belts that note out like it's no big thing. that it really is a big thing, you guys. Nathan thought, he was like, oh, you should sing a song. Why not Dance With You from the Prom? You guys, if any of you at home have tried to sing that song, you know that this is like a 6-month prep kind of song. But it was really incredible. It was a wonderful night. But then the day of the Tonys, people don't know what it includes, which is crazy to me. When I was young, I thought, oh, you're nominated for the Tonys. You get to go to the Tonys and wear your fancy dress and go sit at the Tony Awards while they announce whether or not you won. Well, some people do sit in the seats because they're the nominated people. So like Beth or Caitlin at some point would have sat in the seats, so you get like a little close-up of them when they say their name. But everyone else, we are backstage waiting to perform. But the funny thing is that you also have a performance that afternoon, and you also have a rehearsal earlier that day for the Tonys. So what happens is, it's like, I think my friend Mary Antonini said it's a 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. day. So you wake up really early. I think our call at the theater to be in wig prep was at 6:45 in the morning. And you're so happy to be there, and you don't remember the last time that you have seen the sun. But you're so excited to be there. And so you get into all your prep, and you go to Radio City. They bus you over, which, by the way, takes so long because you have to go the long way around. Like walking to Radio City would have been faster. You get there and they usher you in, and Radio City is huge. It is beautiful. It is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then they have you run through your number, and out in the audience there are cutouts of all of these famous people. So like Jane Krakowski was there, Audra McDonald was there, Cynthia Erivo was right in front of me when I strut down, and I'm supposed to be on 8, but there's no numbers on the Tony stage, so you're just guessing where you are, and you're hoping that your blocking is correct. But I just remember
sitting right here on my couch. It looked great.
Oh, thank you so much. But the number is ever so slightly different than the one that you do on stage every day. So you do the Tony version, which might be sped up or cut, or you might have different blocking. Then you do your actual show in the afternoon. You have to remember your correct blocking for that show. And then you do the Tony performance where you have to remember that blocking again. And there's lights and the curtain. Guys, the curtain isn't really a curtain. It's a bunch of LED screens. So it's this like heavy mechanical thing. The backside of it looks like the inside of a robot. It looks crazy. And it raises up. And all of us are sort of backstage, like last minute squats, last minute lunges, like, oh my God, 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 oh my God. And we're pointing at each other being like, is this real life? Are you real life? And then you go out and you do your best. And my lungs were shredded because I knew that I was strutting straight at Cynthia Erivo. But it's a joy. And then you go back to the theater. They bus you in, you walk in, you're like waiting, and you do your performance, and then as soon as the curtain comes down, everyone starts bawling, and then they usher you off stage back onto the bus, like off the Radio City stage and onto a bus and back to your theater. And you take your hair out, you're taking your wig off on the way, and then you go to your party. So then you're like, I'm sweaty, I did it. The Tonys are still happening. And then you go drink at a bar and find out whether or not you won a Tony that night. It's wild.
Well, and on that note, why don't we do you have a little song for us, Brittany?
I miss musical theater. But also I don't play any instruments besides this one, so we're just gonna go with a little Rodgers and Hammerstein jazzy realness here. Thank you for being here today. Okay. If I loved you time and again, I would try to say all I'd want you to know. And if I loved you, words wouldn't come in an easy way. Round in circles I'd go, longing to tell you that afraid and shy I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon you'd leave me day. Never, no, never to know how I loved you if I loved you.
Zeinstra, how dare you? You're so wonderful. We have a comment. What an absolute goddess. And
Thank you so much, Lily Mac 416. That's so kind.
I absolutely agree. So Brittany, you can stay on, you can leave, you can do whatever you want.
I'll be watching from my home in Colorado. Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Bye, Brittany Zeinstra.
Love you. Mwah.
All right. She's the most beautiful person that's ever existed. We have Renee Heggie. Oh, well, that's Carrie Wagner, a goddess. We went to school with her. The ukulele makes it more perfect. That's so true. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're already behind. I love it. I'm going to take you through the musicals that I did see. We're going to skip like the performances because we'll talk about them later. So Jagged Little Pill, right? It's over there. Oh, wow. Over there. Jagged Little Pill. Alanis Morissette, Diablo Cody, who wrote Juno, and Diane Paulus. They're just kissing in this production. It's great. It's the greats of the theater doing their thing. We love to see it. Elizabeth Stanley kicks us all in the face. We love it. And then Celia Rose Gooding, who is LaChanze's daughter, she's like 19 and just belting her whole face, and it's incredible, and we love to see it. It is a very like in-your-face production. It's following this suburban family as they deal with, and I mean this, literally everything. So there's drugs, there's Harvard, there's adoption. It's very intense. It's very lovely. Super good singing. Come on, you gotta love it. Tina. It's a jukebox musical about the life and music of Tina Turner. That's it. That's the tweet. We're gonna get to Adrienne Warren in a second, who plays Tina. But in this musical, there is a small child who plays like baby Tina, and that girl is incredible. And she sang so beautifully that I thought I maybe pooped. And then she came out at the end and did Proud Mary, and I did. I just did. So Tony Award for making me feel very old and unsuccessful, that little girl. Didn't look up her name. I did see 6. We're going to have someone else come on and talk about it later. Belting. That's what it is. Okay, here we go. I saw, I think, the ninth preview of the revival of Company, which is probably the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life. So Marianne Elliott directed it, and it's a transplant from the London production. And Katrina Lenk is playing female Bobby. And as we saw on the Sondheim stream, she is an ethereal goddess born from the woods, and she can do no wrong. Then we've got Matt Doyle as Jamie, who is usually Amy, beautiful, stunning man. And then Patti LuPone is there, and she's being Patti LuPone, and she's very good at being Patti LuPone. Now, something about this production is that she did, in fact, make all of the gay men yell bravo and rise to their feet, which I've only seen in movies. So, yeah, there's that about that. Oh, I'm just checking for our next. We only had one technical difficulty. We're back. Yay. Okay. But I'm going to give you a spoiler on Company. So hide away from me if you don't want to hear it. Yeah? No? Great. Marianne Elliott imagined it so that it's Bobby's like Alice in Wonderland dream. So there's some more connective tissue with everything. Yeah. And then, do I have one more? Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire was simply, I didn't expect it to be very good, and it freaking was. Rob McClure, just so charming. What's even going on? How dare he? And yeah, the kids are adorable. It's beautiful. All right. Nasia should be on in a second. But we're going to talk now about Best Actor and Actress in a Musical really quickly. So, I did not see Moulin Rouge. My roommate Michael will be talking about that later. However, I know that Aaron Tveit is a pretty, pretty man, and he sings pretty, pretty. So, I'm sure nominate the man already. And then, I don't know, does Girl from North Country have some men in it? Not sure. Are there some in Diana? Couldn't tell you. There's Kristen Carroll as Percy in Lightning Thief, and Isaac Powell in Tony and West Side Story. However, I am going to say, this is Rob McClure's year. Give it to him. Give him the award. He is in a dress. He's doing all this stuff. Literally incredible. At one point, he is on a loop machine, which is fascinating to me. And he's like doing puppetry with a loop machine. I saw the second preview, and a banner fell, and the banner went whoosh, and it tried to take Rob McClure's life. And he said, "Not today, banner." And for that, we should give him a Tony. All right. Best Leading Actress in a Musical. Oh, we have Nasia. Yay. Is the most thing that is happening this year. We've got Katrina Lange Company. We've got Elizabeth Stanley and Jack Little Pill. We've got Karen Olivo, who looks younger than when she won her first Tony, like swinging from trapezes. We've got Jen Gamity in Miss Doubtfire, who probably isn't big enough to get nominated, but at one point just struts down and does a song about strutting, and I love that. We've got Jana DeWall as Diana. I haven't heard anything from Diana, but she's playing Princess Diana. Give her a Tony Award. I don't care. And then we've got Adrienne Warren as Tina, which all that show is her singing and then dancing and then singing and then dancing and then doing them together. And I want them to give her a break, but also 4 Tony Awards. And she was nominated for the Olivier in London against Sharon D. Clarke, who won for Carolina Change. So that would have been an incredible thing to see. Hopefully we'll still see that. And speaking of Carolina Change, I think it's just about time for a small little preview of what is hopefully about to happen. I warned you that I was going to show that, but I found it last night and was like, the people need to know. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Just doing this thing. So you were in Beautiful on tour and then Broadway, and then you did oh my gosh, The Temptations. Ain't Too Proud, and now Carolina Change.
Carolina Change.
Where were you guys when you had to close down?
Ooh, we were hours away from our final dress rehearsal, and our first preview was the next day. I literally went maybe an hour before we got the announcement to go buy tickets, 5 tickets for my family for the next day. I bought them and then had to quickly come back and get my refund together.
I wanted to for like the 9th preview or something, and I was just like, no. So can you talk a little bit about how stacked this cast is?
I mean, first of all, Sharon. Let's talk about Sharon for a second. Sharon D. Clarke is the queen goddess of all things that has ever been true, right? What I love about Sharon, first of all, every rehearsal that I ever have with her, anything that we've ever done in the room is always a masterclass. And you can ask anybody who is in the room. It is always a masterclass. I will never forget the first time that we ran through the show and how everyone was just like silent. Silent. And also what's lovely about Sharon D. Clarke is that as talented as she is also equally as beautiful of a human being as possible. Every day it's a hug, it's a greet. They're a good morning. She is everything that I want to be when I am older. But we also have like Chip Zine and Casey Levy. It's just Tamika Lawrence. It's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody in that cast, from Sharon or from Grandpa and Grandma Gelman to the little kids, they're all so extraordinary, but also just like good people, which is something I have been so spoiled with. I have never worked on a Broadway show with bad people here. And that's more important to me than how well you can sing or dance.
Which is funny because, as we just heard, everybody in that show is singing their faces off. How
Everybody.
working on a revival versus, I mean, you were placed in Beautiful and then you opened a new show. What's it like working on a known entity?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a combination of both, right? So it's like it's a fresh new take while also still honoring the original show of Carolina Change. Like it is the West End's production, but even from the West End's production, we had the free range. Like our choreographer Ann Yee, who is the bomb, uses words like, "What is your offer for this? What do you want to do here?" And that blows my mind. She could have said, this is how we're going to set it. The whole creative team, this is how we're going to set it. But no, we want to set it around what you guys, this is what we have, but we want whatever offers you want to bring to the table. So I would say like, it's a marriage of both, like replacing, because we're still honoring the people who did it before us. And Janine Tesori was very, serious about that. She was like, we talk about the people who used to be in this show who are now ancestors. We bring you guys into this room. And I really respected that.
That's incredible. And yeah. I think it's, I didn't know the show super well before you said you had come on. So I listened through it and it's beautiful. And Janine Tesori, who is she? Why is his name slipping my mind? Both writers. Like Angels in America, nothing big.
Right.
So why do you think this show needs to come back now? Why is it a story to tell?
I was actually talking to Stacey McCluskey about this. I find a parallel with like the coronavirus, right? So like right now we're living in like a society where like marginalized groups and communities and cultures are just like dealing, with it's in the intersection of racism, and it's sad to me. The show was set in the 1960s, and much like Ain't Too Proud, there are so many themes that are reflected in this show that are happening today. Yeah. And that's sad, but it also is like what perfect timing to bring this show back to life, where people who maybe had different ideals will come into the theater and leave changed, because leave Caroline or changed. It's a blessing. It's sad that the times are still the same, but it's a blessing to be able to push the envelope and challenge these themes even further today. And I hope that when people come and see this show, people who may have thought differently about different groups of people, I hope they leave feeling like they need to challenge what they have known their whole life. I hope so.
Absolutely. Well, Thanks for joining us, Nasia. I can't wait to see the show finally. And I think you're just such a lovely person, because do you remember we've met one time, and it was at a Hairspray callback years ago, and you booked that show, and I am in my living room talking about shows.
The Muni? Was it the Muni?
Yeah. R.I.P. Almost. Here we are. So Nasia is one of those people who is like this too, because she agreed to do this crazy thing. So we'll talk to you, adore you. You're wonderful. Thanks for joining us.
Of course. See ya.
Break legs. All right. So I'm obsessed with her, and her voice is very stupid, like in a good way. Good stupid. I totally missed. There's a show that I think I caused the shutdown, because I don't ever buy tickets for shows ahead of time. And Flying Over Sunset, which is a new musical, I bought tickets for like 6 weeks in advance because I'm obsessed with Erica Henningsen and she can step on my neck. And I just, I never buy tickets ahead of time. And the one time I did it, Broadway shut down. So if it's my fault, I'm sorry. But adding to our really stacked pile of best actresses, Carmen Cusack, ? Probably, we don't know. Going very quickly through supporting actors. it's hard. We'll talk in a second to some people who have seen more shows and other shows. Matt Doyle, as I said, in Company, giving an incredible not getting married. Derek Klena, he's always in shows. He's always great. We love a good Derek Klena. However, it is time to give Danny Burstein an award before I literally die. He is singing Chandelier in Moulin Rouge. Give him the award before he hurts himself or someone else. I love that man. He's been nominated 64 times. 65 today. Really just give him an award. And then supporting actors in a musical could literally go so many ways. So Six, when it was in London, they nominated all, wow, moral of the story, don't buy tickets in advance. I don't think that's the moral, but maybe. So Six in London, they nominated all 6 of the women together as one supporting actress, which is, I mean, that's the way that show has to be. Here we have Sammy Williams, who is in Dear Evan Hansen, is in the role in Carolina Change that like made Anika Noni Rose and won her a Tony. So that could happen. But the battle of the century, everyone, is Mrs. Basement Dwelling Patti LuPone and Lauren Patton in Jagged Little Pill, who both got standing O's in the middle of a show. Lauren Patton is like belting fire out of her eyes, and Patti LuPone is Patti LuPone. So I really think that it could go any way, but it'll probably be just a battle on stage between them, probably with swords, is what I would think. And I would pay to see that very much. Ideally, we're about to have another guest in a moment. I don't know where my phone is. I don't know where my life is. Broadway. It's great. I see some other people. Not the right people. Right? Are we on schedule? This would be a good time to plug ye old Actors Fund. Oh, he's here. He's here. Where is he? Why can't I see you? Oh, you're down there. You're down there.
Hey, Nathan.
Hi.
How are you? This looks great. You're having such a good time. I'm loving all the things you're saying.
Oh, wow. What a guy. Andy Barth, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I am good. I'm busy. I'm very busy, Nathan. What'd you say?
You have a little career going.
Yes, we're doing that in like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very busy person these days, which is very weird.
You're the only one.
Yeah, I'm doing lots of things.
Well, thank you for being here. I have like 2 actual questions for you.
Okay, and I'm gonna plug in headphones so I can hear you better. So,
Oh, great.
this is gonna be exciting because it's a little. We're gonna make this work. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm just assisting comments. Okay, so you not only made your Broadway debut at 16, but you did it in a like juggernaut role in a juggernaut show. How did you did that?
like how did I do actually execute the act of doing it?
Sure. What were you thinking? Were you nervous? Were you scared? I would have peed.
Yeah, I was scared until the second I'm still scared about doing it. I think the echo is because I was here, so hopefully the
No,
echo
I
should
think
go.
it's me.
Oh, that's exciting.
I don't know. Is this better?
It sounds fine to me.
Great.
I'm still scared about having done it. Like, it's still really, really scary to me that it happened. But it was the best. It was so wonderful. Yeah, I was absolutely terrified every second of doing it.
You were real good at it, so that's great.
Thanks.
Moving forward, because I think we'll see you on Broadway stages forever and ever. What are some roles that you want to win your Tony for?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's hard because Evan felt like it was so me, and that Tony ship has sailed. So I would just love to originate I'd love to originate a role, and that's like the stock answer, but it's true. And I've gotten to do some really, really exciting like readings and new work and stuff over the last couple months since having done Evan, and all of them are so special. So any one of like anything, anything new that feels right and that I am passionate about and believe in is what I want to do.
Amazing. Yay, Andrew. And plug yourself in the Jackbox right now.
Yeah, Broadway Jackbox is this thing that Alex Boniello and I are doing every Tuesday and Friday. Alex Boniello, who played Connor and is also a Tony-winning producer. We raise money for the Actors Fund. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday and Friday. Today, actually, in like 20 minutes, we have Michael Urie, Betsy Wolfe, and Haley Kilgore on with us. It's going to be really good. So
that's an incredible group. We love to see it.
It's going to be great.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Wait, do you want me to sing? Because I actually have a song. I have a song prepared. I decided in the last 10 seconds.
I didn't want to make you sing if you didn't want to.
I don't really have a voice right now, but I think this song will be fine.
The people would love to see it.
Just because you'd mentioned Moulin Rouge. This is my favorite song from Moulin Rouge. Okay. Party girls, they don't get hurt, can't feel anything. When will you learn you must push it down? Push it down. I'm the one for a good time. Call phone's blowing up, ringing your doorbell. You feel the love? Feel the love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. Throw him back till I lose count. I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, from the chandelier. I'm gonna swing like tomorrow doesn't exist, like it doesn't exist. I'm gonna fly like a bird through the night, and the days as they drive. I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, from the chandelier. Thank you.
That was the simple, most amazing thing that I have ever seen in my life.
I love Moulin Rouge, and specifically I love Danny Burstein singing Chandelier.
Of course you do.
It's incredible.
Well, that made my whole entire life. Enjoy your Broadway Jackbox.
Thanks, Nathan. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
You're fun. Bye, Andrew.
Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.
Tech for me over there. This is Rosie. We went to camp together many years ago. This is Noah Dunton. He's a little cute baby. Hey, Michael, you come scoot over.
Cool.
And then we have, I just can't scroll on this thing. I can see this person. That's Caitlin.
Hey.
Yay. And then we have Max Beer. All right, everyone. So this will stay up when the stream ends, person asking. So what we're going to do now is cover the shows that we all saw. Can you guys turn this on?
Oh, yeah.
And they saw shows that I didn't see. So we're just gonna go with that. Rosie, what show did you see?
I saw Sing Street.
And you saw it off Broadway. Incredible.
I did.
Noah, what did you see?
Girl from the North Country, just under 24 times.
What? I didn't know that.
I ushered that show for the entirety of its run at the Public Theater and had the privilege of seeing it when it was in previews at the Belasco.
Okay, that makes sense. Max Beer, my friend, what did you see?
I saw Diana, the musical.
Ooh.
Incredible. Miss Caitlin Bauer, what did you see?
I saw 6.
Well, you will feel that in a moment. And Michael, why don't you start us off? Michael, what did you see?
I saw Moulin Rouge on Broadway.
Did you see Andrew Barth Feldman as Danny Burstein?
yes, I didn't see Danny Bernstein when I saw it. I saw the understudy. So, Andrew, you're incredible, man. You're incredible.
I hate that. All right. I don't really remember what questions I had for you.
I remember.
Great. So what was a standout performance or moment of Moulin Rouge?
Okay. I have two. I mean, I have another one I can talk about later. Karen Olivo doing Firework was amazing. And
we had a question earlier for who else can step on my neck. Karen Olivo.
Karen Olivo.
She may.
That's fair. Another one was Sartre Gauja as Toulouse-Lautrec. His performance was just like transformative. That man he comes alive when he's on stage. So he deserves a Tony for that.
Weird that he's dead before then.
Yeah, it is.
And something about expectations. What were you expecting and what happened for you?
Well, my expectations were blown out of the water because from the very first bass drop that happens, the snapping happens, and then the showgirls come out. It's like, unlike any traditional musical theater setting I've ever been a part of, I kind of put it up there with Great Comet of 1812, where it's just like immersive staging, audience immersion. I felt like I was at a party. I didn't feel like I was at a traditional Broadway show. It was incredible.
Well, that just sounds great, and like we should all go. Now, I have one specific question for you. Who would you rather marry, Aaron Tveit or Karen Olivo?
Well, I sat second row, so I could see the beauty of them both. So this is kind of a hard question to answer. But Karen Olivo,
okay,
100%.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Given the
yeah. Rosie, my friend, you saw Sing Street, and I know literally nothing about it. So what is it?
Sing Street is a musical that is based off of the 2016 movie Sing Street. And I knew that going into it. I'd never seen the movie. I didn't realize how recent the movie was either. And it's just a musical. It's kind of like Spring Awakening angst meets School of Rock, the teenage years meets Once. They're all playing instruments. Like all of the people on stage are playing like a million different instruments. It's crazy talented. And they all have Irish accents, and there's a bunny. So what more could you want, really?
Wow, I love all of that. What was a standout moment or performance?
Ooh, that's a good question. Brennan O'Connor plays the lead Connor, and he is fantastic. People may have seen him in Game of Thrones, and he is really great. He just has this like really great sincerity. I think honestly the best thing to me was just the ensemble cast. They were all playing music together, and they just genuinely looked like they were having a bomb time.
Oh, we love it. I don't know the show well enough to ask you a specific question. So is there what was the coolest looking guitar in the Street of Sin?
That's a great question. I'd say, I think the best thing about Sing Street, yeah, it does sound like everything Willie Mac 416. It's
here today.
I would honestly say everyone just go on Spotify and listen to the cast album. It's set in the 80s, so it's very like 80s nostalgia. It's really, really good. And I think a lot of people really into it. They have a really great social media presence. So if you want to follow, they're doing a live stream on Thursday, I believe. I wrote it down. Thursday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you can, tune in. It's really great. I really, really enjoyed it. I also ushered it, Noah, so it was
really Hey, there we go.
Let's go over to Noah and the girl from the North Country.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan? Yeah?
Yes. Okay. So it's a Bob Dylan jukebox musical set in the Great Depression in Duluth, Minnesota, and it follows a family that runs a boarding house. And the interesting thing about the jukebox component of it is the songs sort of exist in this. I don't want to call it an alternate reality in that the characters are saying things that they wouldn't say otherwise, but perhaps the best way to frame it would be things that they can't say, and it's haunting and gorgeous.
And you cried, yes?
I did cry, yes.
Great, wonderful. Has it changed much in its run from the public?
It has slightly. I was a little nervous about how it would translate in a larger house. And granted, the Belasco isn't huge, but I was seeing it in a space that was 300 seats, and it's a very intimate, understated show. But it translated surprisingly well, and they actually made some changes to the script, just slight changes that I thought provided a lot of clarity.
Well, that's great. I think that's a great. Guys, look, it's my cousin. He's watching. He has a baby.
Hey, Dan with a baby.
Go away. I think we're gonna go over to Max Beer with Diana.
What's up?
Now, what I know about Diana is that she was a princess. Can you confirm?
I can confirm. And, it's really quite a journey to how she got to be a princess. She wasn't expecting it at all. And then I guess it just kind of happened one day.
Now, are you a scholar of Princess Di, or did you learn all of this in the musical Diana?
I learned all of this in the musical Diana. Now, I know very little about the royal family, about what the monarchy is like, but Diana was, you learn quite a bit. It's a show and an education.
Wow.
I know.
The price of one. That's what we want on Broadway. What is the music like? I've listened to like 2 clips, and I just know very well.
It's really interesting, actually, because I went in thinking it would be more of a chamber piece, but it's actually a full rock musical. It has a very pop rock sound. It's written by the team that did Memphis. So you can imagine the songs that really rock in Memphis and have that kind of groove. That's very similar to the songs in Diana.
Will Montego Glover get her Tony for Diana, which she is not in?
Not this year, but maybe next year for Diana.
Great. Cool. Can we have a mashup that is Diana in Memphis?
I wouldn't recommend it, honestly. For the sake of both shows, let's keep them separate.
But Andrew would definitely play Danny Burstein in. We've gone off the rails.
Yeah, Danny Burstein was in Diana, by the way.
Yeah, he was out of Moulin Rouge to go play Diana. So the lovely, I believe her name is Jenna DeWall. How was she playing?
Jenna was phenomenal, truly. Like, it's a little sad that the Tonys aren't happening this year, because it really was like a real star-making role. She really carries the show. Costume change after costume change, huge song after huge song. It's really impressive to see her do it, and this was going to be her moment. So I hope she gets to have this moment.
Oh, that makes me sad. But it's great to hear she's fierce. Speaking of fierce, Caitlin, would you like to tell us about Six, the musical?
Nathan, I would love to tell you about Six, the musical. So Six is like if it was a little mix concert, but instead of 4 former X Factor winners, it was 6 former wives of Henry VIII. And instead of Simon Cowell behind the scenes sowing discord and chaos throughout the group so that they break up and his favorite prospers, it's Henry VIII behind the scenes sowing chaos and discord throughout the group so they break up and he gets an heir.
Yeah, that is what Six is. And what is the music like in the old Six?
Every song is a bop. It's a pop score, and there's not a bad song. It's a no-skip album, if you do that meme. It's every queen has a different pop diva superstar who influences her song. So one of them is Britney Spears, Ariana Grande influenced, one is Beyonce influenced, one's Rihanna influenced, one's Avril Lavigne influenced, and there's not a bad moment in the whole show.
That's true. Noah and I actually saw it together and we gay cried.
Yeah, we did.
So, Caitlin, what is a You have something you want to speak on. I know this.
Okay, so again, every part of the show is perfect. There's nothing bad about it. But one, the sound mixing is incredible because it's a pop concert, right? So when you heard all of the previews they would do at Broadway Con or wherever else they were previewing songs, you were like, yes, this is good. Well done. But then seeing them do it where the soundboard was at the right levels for all of them, like the first time they did a 6-part harmony, I literally went, oh, like out loud in the theater, because it was so perfect. And 2, there is a moment toward the end of the show when Catherine Parr, played by Anna Uzele, has a monologue that in the wrong hands could go very freshman acting 101, where it's just like, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, but her hands are the right hands. It was just really moving and lovely, and like every riff, run, harmony was perfect, but like that was also just a really perfect acting moment as well.
Incredible. Now, everyone, if there were to be a Hunger Games and you had to submit one person from your show, what character would it be? For the sake of this exercise, I will use Mrs. Doubtfire, and I would send Brad Oscar as himself with the wigs that he has. No one has seen these shows. This might be a bad idea. Michael, who are you sending?
Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on the character's name right now.
Is it Robin Herder?
The one who sings Roxanne.
Great. We know that guy. Rosie? No one will know.
I would choose the rabbit that comes in one scene. It's a live rabbit that they bring on stage. And I learned that there's a rabbit handler, which I want that job, by the way. First of all, I'm sure they get paid way more than I'm making now. I'm sure the rabbit is getting paid way more than I'm making now, first of all. However, I would choose the rabbit as my Hunger Games contestant.
Max?
I think I'd have to go with Judy Kay. I think she would make a strong killing in the Hunger Games.
You're a sick man.
Joe Scott is he's a boxer in the show, and I feel like he'd do pretty well.
He would do great. And Caitlin?
Catherine Howard.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, everyone, this has been just so weird, and I love it. I adore you all, and until next time, my friends. Oh, we have a Jesus Christ, Caitlin, you are incredible. And
love you, Taylor.
Rabbit.
Give him the job.
Those are our other roommates. All right, bye everybody. You're all wonderful.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Going back to sound tech.
I never. Oh yeah, thanks, Michael. I never played Andrew's intro, so I'm going.
And she loves me.
That felt nice. I think we all needed that. So next up, we have the one, the only. We have. Oh, technology is great. Oh, there we go. It's Aaron.
Hi.
I have an intro.
Listen up, one and all. I got something to show. Listen up, everybody. There's something you ought to know. Now,
the response I wanted.
Wow. Did you make sure to get the cut where I cracked on it? Because that one is a keeper.
We don't have that one anymore, but I'll send it to you every day. So, Aaron Michael Ray, you are, or were before this all happened, on tour with what show?
Currently on tour with Come From Away.
And what do you do in that show?
So I'm a standby, which means I cover 5 principal roles in the show.
And my question for you is, why is that allowed?
Honestly,
why does that man do 9 hours of understudying? Why is this allowed?
You know, like it's really funny you say that because, you know, normally if in every other job that I've done at any other show, like, you know, you get that phone call and you're like so excited and you just can't wait to do it. I got that call and I was terrified. I was terrified because I've seen this show and this is a fully ensemble show of 6 men and 6 women. And the fact that
chairs.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
400 chairs.
Yes, all of the chairs. There are 14 on stage. 14 chairs, 2 tables, and the turntable. And that's the set.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
And you've gone on for almost all three of your 5, right?
I have gone on for 3 of my 5 roles. So I've gone on for Bob and both of the Kevins. There are 2 Kevins in the show, and they're both dating. And there's actually one week where I played both Kevins in the same week, and it was the same week as Valentine's Day.
That really stresses me out. Wow. So this is, oh wait, no. This is Sandy, who gave me tickets to The Inheritance, and that was our understudy. So anyway, okay, so you did a play here in the city called The Low Road, which was directed by insane director Michael Greif, who was nominated against who you worked with for Come From Away, Christopher Ashley. Like, what on earth was working with those 2 like?
It was amazing. I mean, I think at first I came into The Low Road of hey Drew, I came into The Low Road I was so confused. Like, the whole audition process was just a big fun like event to me, because they had me play a bunch of instruments and things like that. And I didn't know, they couldn't tell us that much about the show when we auditioned until we were getting further in callbacks. And so I just kind of went into it with a very open mind and didn't really know what to expect. And then,
can you tell us what you played?
So I had to play the recorder for my audition. And for one of the rounds of auditions that I did, I played the Harry Potter theme song. And on another round, when they asked for something different, I played the SpongeBob theme song. And I was just as surprised as you were when I booked it. And I was shocked. But, you know, it was just, all I knew about it going in was that, you know, they didn't, like, the script wasn't completely ready yet, so they really couldn't give us that much anyways. And so I just knew that it was a comedy, and I was like, you know what, let me just do this. I have no idea what they want, but I'm gonna try this. And it was just hilarious. But but going back to working with Michael, I mean, at first he was very intimidating to work with just because of his accolades and everything. But once I was in the room with him, it was such an energy that he knew exactly where he wanted everything to be. He knew exactly what he wanted his actors to do. And I went in kind of thinking that I had like a really small part and that kind of thing. But one thing I will say is that he made me feel like I had a really important role in the show. So I will shout out to Michael, because he's really great.
Amazing. And then how about Tony Award-winning Christopher Ashley, who also directed the seminal classic Escape to Margaritaville?
Yes, he did. And Memphis, and Diana, actually.
I didn't know any of that, and I'm overwhelmed. Okay.
It's our same team from Come From Away. They're doing Diana. So I was really looking forward to see that too, just to support, but we'll see when we'll be able to. But Chris is such a kind man, and something I really appreciate about him is that he knows how to give you the most precise note. Like, he hears what you're saying and he can just filter that in 2 seconds and say, I really would like for you to do this and this and this. And he knows how to speak your language as an actor. And that's super important to me. And like, even being a standby, you know, when we were in rehearsals for putting up the tour, you know, as standbys, we weren't necessarily the priority right away, just because it was about setting up the onstage cast. But whenever I did have sessions with him or coachings and that kind of thing, he knew exactly what to say.
Incredible. Well, we love good directors.
We do, and they're both great.
Well, Mr. Aaron Michael Ray, I believe you have a song prepared?
I do. Jesus Be a Karaoke track. We found one, so we're just gonna do it.
That was my biggest question for the Sondheim concert, though, is where were these tracks coming from?
I actually was not sure. I've only watched a snippet of the concert because when it was happening, I was doing something else, and I joined in literally when Sutton Foster was singing her final note in There Won't Be Trumpets. And it was just, I opened the screen and it was just Sutton, and I was like, oh, I'm ready for this. So I can't wait to finish watching it.
I am ready for you to sing us a song, Mr. Aaron Ray. What is this? What are you singing?
So I'm going to be singing I'll Be Here from Lipa's Wild Party.
You will.
Okay, let's do this track. When you cry, I can hold you. When you fall, shed no tears. When you lose your light in the naked night, I'll be here. I'll be here. When you fail, I can soothe you. No more harm, no more fear. On the coldest climb to the end of time, I'll be here. I'll be here. I'll be standing by, trying to comfort, hoping I am enough. I'll be flying high, crying myself into happiness I've never known, a life I thought I'd never own. Maybe I've been dreaming and this moment isn't real. How else can I explain this power that I feel? You can run, I'll forgive you. I'm the one you can call. I will need you, I will feed you, I will lead you to the clear. I'll be here. I'll be here.
Oh, Aaron Ray, I have missed your voice. Everyone is freaking out. How does one have such a smooth voice? A gift to us all.
Oh.
Michael Roach from over there said fire. Well, that was just a gift. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Want to stay on with me for a second while I just finish up? We just have a few more things.
Sure.
Okay. So if you have any comments, we'd love to hear them. All I really have to say left is back to company, which I think I called you about and screamed and said it was fantastic. If Marianne does not win that Tony, I will, similar to Catherine Zeta-Jones versus Montego Glover, I will make it my personal mission to take the Tony from whoever else has it and give it to Marianne. It was incredible. I cried. Tears were had. Now, set design also just will probably go to company, and I never thought I'd say that in my life because like company in your backyard. Don't do that, but it could. And the set design and the redesign of the whole piece is just stunning. However, similar to the banner that fell in Mrs. Doubtfire, a piece of wood broke off because it was only like the 9th preview. And I watched Christopher Sieber, like, little things you do together, and pick it up and like try to carry it off. And he swung and he made an attempt on a Ty Benson's life. And I thought that I was going to watch murder on that stage. We persevered, and here we are.
But honestly, we live for those things because there was one year I went to the final dress rehearsal for Shuffle Along, and it was hilarious because there was a moment where Audra had to walk upstage and then the curtain was supposed to close like this, but only like, let me see if I can do this in the camera, only like one of them came down. And then she's supposed to just walk off because the curtain's supposed to be closed. But she turned around and just noticed us noticing her and just was like, I'm just gonna walk off. And it was hilarious, but we all live for that. We live for it.
Well, Taylor Vaughn has just said, put your money where your mouth is and mug Catherine's in a joke. My FBI agent watching me, I will not be doing that. Taylor is leading me down a dark path. Well, Erin, do you have anything else you'd like to say about Come From Away or anything else? What's it like to work with such a profound show with such a message about our country?
Honestly, I could not think of a more relevant show right now because it 100% has to do with a crisis that everyone has been dealing with and everyone is affected by, and just coming together and just being there for people. And it's just about kindness. And I think it's going to be really special when we go back to performances because everyone will be able to relate to this show.
Absolutely. Well, we have one final, David Andre, correct? Justice for Shuffle Along.
Yes.
We have one final request, and it's that we talk about Cats 2019. Did you see the film?
I saw the movie.
All right. Well, that's all we really have to say on that. Erin, wonderful to talk to you. Have a great life that I hope to be a part of.
Thank you. Stay safe and healthy out there.
Oh, you too. Well, everyone, that brings us just about to the end. But we have one final thing to say, and it's please enjoy your nominations. Did I really nominate that many things? No. Did I say a lot of beautiful women could step on my neck? Absolutely. But that's exactly what you knew was going to happen. Everyone, just enjoy Broadway. A motorcycle is exploding outside of my apartment, and I'm going to roll the tape.
Happy What is it? Hey! Happy NomiNathans, everybody.
Happy NomiNathans! Love you guys.
Happy Tony NomiNathans. Huh?
Happy NomiNathans.
Happy Tony NomiNathans.
Oh, hey. Happy Tony NomiNathans.
Happy NomiNathans.
Happy NomiNathans.
Happy NomiNathans.
Happy NomiNathans Day. I hope you have your champagne ready. It's a big night.
Happy NomiNathans.
Hey guys, from myself and the rest of the cast of Mean Girls, happy Tony NomiNathans.
Happy NomiNathans.
That's what it is. Nomination. Nathan.
Happy NomiNathans.
Happy NomiNathans.
Happy NomiNathans.
Stop taking pictures.